Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at the new Call of Duty game, Vanguard, a game I don't think many people were excited for, and rightfully so. This is the most generic Call of Duty game I've ever played. It was literally like playing a fucking parody of Call of Duty. So let's just spread apart these stinky cheeks and dive into the filth. The campaign, this is what I started with, it's about 4.5 hours, that's what it took me to beat it. But that was with some goofing around and speedrunning, so it's probably between like 3.5 to 4 hours if you just like fucking turbo gamer mode it. It's terrible. This is probably one of the worst Call of Duty campaigns I can remember. I really liked Cold War's campaign, and I understand no one's buying Call of Duty for the campaign, but god damn it, if it's going to be in the game, at least put some kind of effort behind it. And they put a lot of emphasis in their trailers on the story mode here, and it is some doggy shit. The entire game's story is basically just a series of flashbacks where you play through your ragtag group of team members' past. It's just Naruto filler episodes for the entire story. So there's one mission where you guys go on an adventure to find some secret papers, but you get captured, and then once you're captured, you all just reminisce about the glory days from the earlier years of the war and what makes you such a badass. And it's not really interesting. The characters aren't fun. They're not well fleshed out at all, which they couldn't be in such a short time frame for the game's story anyway. But it's just really dumb. I'm not exaggerating either. There's only 2 missions in the entire campaign that take place outside of the flashbacks, which is the first and last mission, and they're also the 2 shortest missions in the game. Everything else in between is just flashbacks from different parts of the war where it shows that your teammates are genuine superhumans that have changed the course of history. And that would be fine if it wasn't so fucking boring. Like, even when going through these flashbacks where you're supposed to be, like, really impressed with what they do, it's so underwhelming. It's just so generic. There's nothing interesting about any of it. And there's a lot of missions where it's just defend this point for this amount of time, which is the most boring objective in any game ever, even worse than escort missions. It's just, there's nothing to like about the campaign. But like I said earlier, I know a lot of people don't really care about Call of Duty campaigns, and this is the one that you should care the least about. Just forget it's even in the game. Save yourself with 4 hours. Now let's move on to what people are complaining the most about, which is the zombies mode. Before playing zombies, I saw Twitter was on fire with people whining about it. I saw the word unplayable tossed around a lot when talking about the zombies mode here. So I was a little shocked to see that, because usually people love zombies. And apparently it was terrible here, so I gave it a fair shake, and I gotta say, it's just really bland. As like everything else in this game, it's just really bare bones. I know Zombies has a lot of like intricacy to it, and there's a lot going on with Zombies and all the other titles, but this one, it is as basic as it gets. It feels like you just bought a Steam indie game that was copying Call of Duty Zombies. There's no personality to it, there's no real depth to it. It is just super simple, straightforward, and bland. Which I definitely wouldn't say it's unplayable by any means, because I mean it still works, it's still zombies, it's just zombies watered down and stripped of everything interesting about it. Which sucks, yeah, definitely not good, but it's definitely not as bad as Twitter was making it seem. I was expecting to go into zombies mode and have it just fucking crash my computer and wipe my hard drive. But it doesn't do anything like that, and it's not offensively bad, it's just really bland. It's like they went out of their way to take out things people liked about zombies. Like, it's just missing half of the shit in zombies that people wanted or are used to. It's like they said, hey, what do players like? Okay, now let's fuck them in the ass and get all of that out of there, and then ship zombies. So now let's move on to the biggest component of every Call of Duty game, the multiplayer. I don't have a lot of good things to say about the multiplayer, mainly because I'm really tired of the standard Call of Duty formula, but it is the exact same Call of Duty formula you're used to. As like everything in this game, it's painfully generic. There's nothing new about it, nothing it tries to do better than previous COD games. It's content just being the exact same Call of Duty multiplayer experience that you're used to for the last like 8 years. So if you like Call of Duty, you're gonna like Vanguard's multiplayer. It's functional. I think the movement's smooth. The movement's something that stood out to me as being better than previous CODs. I thought the movement was really silky. But other than movement, that is the only like noticeable difference from other games, and it's not even that big of a difference. It's just the only thing where I was like, this does feel better than some other ones. Everything else is just the exact same Call of Duty experience that we've got for the last 8 years. So if you like that, you're going to love this. I have really nothing else to say about it. There's one other thing I like. They added something called Blitz, where you can choose Blitz as your playlist option, and it gives you big teams against big teams, 12v12 on all the game modes. So that's nice. I think Blitz is a cool addition, but other than that, it's just the same formula again. Gunplay feels the same, guns feel the same, maps pretty much the same. Nothing really wild or interesting about it. You know exactly what to expect. Now let's go ahead and plug Call of Duty Vanguard into the moist meter. I'm giving this bad boy a 45%. You're better off forgetting this game even comes with a campaign because it's horrible and just a genuine waste of time to play through. And the zombies mode, if you're a fan of zombies, is going to severely disappoint you because it is stripped of most things that people liked about zombies. So if you're a fan of zombies, probably not going to be a fan of this one. But if you just want like a bland generic zombie shooter, then it's serviceable, so that's cool, I guess. And multiplayer, again, if you like Vanguard, you're gonna like the multiplayer. That's probably like the only good part of the game I can say. But like I said, for me personally, I'm super tired of the Call of Duty formula, so the 4 or 5 hours or whatever I put into the multiplayer is going to be the only time I touch the game, because I have no desire to just keep playing the same goddamn thing over and over again. But I know there are a lot of people who still really like the Call of Duty formula, and it's completely fine. Like, this is still a normal Call of Duty game that I don't think anyone's going to be like shockingly disappointed with its multiplayer or anything like that, because movement's good, maps are fine, Blitz is fun, and you get the same experience that you like. So I think fans of the franchise are going to be very pleased with the multiplayer. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah.